In this tutorial, I'm going to cover in Akeytsu how to fix a problem that is actually caused by user error I've currently discovered in trying to make use the Cycle Maker's feature called Cycle Side. In this case, I have got this character here, and I have got this animation of one side of the body, both in the face, the arms, and the leg, the right arm and the right leg, and I want to transfer that information data over to the left side using Cycle Maker's Cycle Side button. Now, if I were to go ahead and just select this, I'm going to stop this animation from playing. Normally what you would do is you would select the right side of the controls, right side bones that you would want, either using this button or selectively just going in and picking them however you like. And you would then, with those selected, those are your source bones, you would then send that data of animation over to the other side using the Cycle Side. Let's go ahead and try that. Now, it doesn't seem like anything worked, and that can be really frustrating, when something just silently doesn't work and you have no idea what the reason is. What's happening here is the fact that I'm working here with them in the mixer. I have a number of different stackers in here, and I made a few mistakes there. Which was the reason behind that. Number one, I was in a different mixer layer, or in other words, a stacker here that didn't have my animation data even in it. That animation data lives in the all layer here. Right down here is where I have my arms and legs moving and everything. So let's go ahead and try it again. Now that I'm in the correct mixer layer down here, or stacker, I should call it by the correct term, stacker. Now let's try mirroring it over, and nothing is happening. It's not mirroring over. I say mirroring. By mirroring, I'm mirroring and offsetting using the Cycle Side button, and I'm not getting that jogging motion of the arms and legs. Okay, that can kind of drive you crazy until you realize what's going on here. What's happening is Stacker is a really great system for selectively choosing what bones do I want to animate right now. And I don't want to, think of it like Photoshop. In Photoshop, you got a background, you've got some trees on top of the background, and you got some buildings in front of that, and you have some characters in front of the buildings. Well, it would be nice to be able to paint on just the buildings alone and be able to paint on just the characters alone. That's why you have layers in Photoshop. Think of that as basically the same thing. You don't want to include access to painting. You don't want to paint on everything necessarily. The stackers here in the mixer in Akeytsu actually go one step further. It'll actually allow you to enable and disable what particular bones that you're wanting to work on. So let's, for instance, here let's go to the smaller mixer here, a smaller stacker. If I click on ponytail, I have just included all the bones in the ponytail. I can't animate anything else here. You will see that my spinner is not working, right? It's not working until I go to something in the ponytail. Now it's working. It's because these are the only bones that are included in this particular stacker, which I have named ponytail. Doesn't matter what you name it, by the way, just whatever you want. Head bounce, I've included neck, head, and so on and so on and so on. I can select the arm, even though it's not in here, but I can't do anything with it. Similarly, down here in the all layer, now that's where my animation lives, the arms and the legs. You can see, and the reason you can tell that that's the case is right here. You can see the IK constraint is showing up, or the IK control rather. Every keyframe, it appears, it appears, it appears. Now, curiously, again on a frame here, the IK control on the other side never appears. Now, why can that be? That's right, it's because it's not included in the stacker. Somewhere along the line I have created, because you can separate out, you can select bones and separate them out, and they no longer live in that stacker, they live up here, and that's a good feature to have. The problem is I did that and I didn't realize it, and I no longer have access to them. So let's go ahead and edit what is included in this particular stacker. Let's go ahead and look inside here, and if you click on this little hammer icon, you can see all of the bones that are included and aren't, and yep, there, look at that. There's all these bones, in spite of the name being all, not all of them are there. So what I need to do is simply select everything. I could just simply select, clavicle and upper arm L and so on and all that, and then do all the left bones, and I could simply do that, and I could add them by clicking on the hammer icon right here. I'm going to make sure I got all of the foot bones, because I think there's a ball bone there. There we go. And IK hand and IK foot on the left. I select the ones that I want and hover over here. You'll see that if they're not enabled, I can click on it and it only adds those. Now they appeared. You can see that these controllers here now start working. They turn on and I have access to them. Now they are included in the stacker, which I've called all, and I can transfer that animation data. I can animate them, the keyframes, and so on, and it should work for Cycle Maker. The thing is, I want to go ahead and include all the bones just because it is all, and I want to add those. So let's just go ahead and do that. Now, make sure you click on one that is not enabled here. If you click on here on one that is, it removes everything from this stacker. This stacker now no longer has any bones in it that I can control. Let's not do that. Okay, that'll make you sad. So click on the hammer icon. Now all of the bones are currently included. And remember, I'm doing this because I have it on the bottommost layer where all the bones are included. Okay, you might not want to necessarily have all the bones in all the stackers. For example, in Ponytail, I don't want to have every last ever-loving bone here under Ponytail. So I just will not include those. I could go in here and add more if I wanted to, but I don't want to. So make sure use your judgment about what you want to include. So with that done, let's go ahead and stop editing the stacker list here. And let's go ahead and select just the bones on the right-hand side of the character. And let's see now if, in fact, Cycle Maker will move that information over to the other side. And lo and behold, there it is. Now the animation is offset and mirrored, okay, offset in time, mirrored laterally across the character, and her arms and legs are moving. The smile is symmetrical and everything, but look at this up here. Now I have a problem. Now why isn't this cheek moving up here? That cheekbone is actually in the, it's actually lives here. Let's go ahead and stop it. Let's go ahead and go to this bone here. Now if you look, it is included. When you don't have this little hammer icon turned on, it shows you everything that's included in that stacker, okay? Like Ponytail and so on, head bounce and so on. Now, this bone lives here. It's here. It's in the bottom stacker. Why isn't it mirroring over that information, right? It's not, because it's being overridden by another stacker that's above it. Just like in Photoshop or something, you'll have the character will block the building that's behind the character, and the building will be blocking the mountains that are behind the building. Okay, it's one layer on top of another layer. You can't see the mountain or the tree or whatever it is behind the building if you have the building in front. Okay, that's what it is. So think of this as a higher layer. This is a higher layer that's overriding it, not Ponytail rather, but head bounce. Head bounce is it's got its own information in here, and I can demonstrate that by turning it off. See, there's no jiggle of the face over here. So go ahead and basically, let's go ahead and edit that. And obviously that means if I go into head bounce, I don't have all the bones that I want. Head, corner, mid, L, and out corner, outside L, these two bones right here are not included. So all I got to do is just go in here. Let's go ahead and edit them. Head, corner, mid, L, and outside, well, not brow, no, not that one. Yeah, these two right here, and add them. There we go. I'm being very selective now, but what I do, turn that off. Now they're included. I go over here to my outside. Yeah, let's go to there we go, let's click it right here. Now they're both selected. Now I can go ahead and make sure I'm in head bounce and go ahead and use Cycle Side. Now obviously I just made another mistake, but it is working now, but it's offset. Okay, that's what Cycle Side's whole deal is. If you wanted to mirror this over, because the face bounces at the same time up and down both sides, all you have to do is just go up here, mirror it over, move up to your next keyframe right there, head bounce, go to the next keyframe, mirror it over. Next keyframe is obviously automatic, so there you go. See? Now the character's face is symmetrically moving and asymmetrically moving down here in the arms and legs. Bottom line is that if you want to make sure and control, if you want to be able to, if you Cycle Maker's Cycle Side button, it doesn't seem to be doing anything, it's probably because you have got, you don't have all of the bones that you included in the stacker that you're currently working with. If, however, you find that you have all the bones, or you have one stacker, okay, and all the bones are in there, you checked, you've looked, and they're all here, and still that little bugger's not transferring the keyframe information over, take a look at the naming that you have for all your bones. If you have a different name for the arm bone over here, okay, for instance, than this bone here, this one here is named, where is it? Upper arm underscore R. And this one over here, if I have it named under upper arm space L or something, or I have it under upper arm underscore left, if the names are not consistent, Akeytsu doesn't know that its mate, its corresponding bone on the opposite side exists. It has to go on a naming convention. So if you have finger, let's say hand underscore L or hand left, you have to have a hand right. It has to be named consistently, or hand underscore L must have a hand underscore R. Okay? Make sure you're naming convention. And they recommend in Akeytsu to simply go down here and make sure that when you're creating your skeleton in the first place, allow Akeytsu to mirror over these joints using the mirroring tools and everything. That's on the Skin SEA, but it's, anyways, you get what I'm saying. But when you mirror that over, that's for another tutorial as to how to do all that. But you need to make sure that you have the consistently named bones. So that's another thing that can break the Cycle Maker Cycle Side button here. And anyways, that's probably not every particular thing that can maybe potentially go wrong, but they can be very common mistakes that you can make. I've made them myself and beat my head against the keyboard for a while, and I hope to save you that trouble. So good luck. I hope this was helpful. Thank you very much.